Hello, everyone. Good morning, afternoon, and evening, depending on where you are. Thank you for joining us today for this pre-arrival webinar. We are excited to have you here. This call should answer all of your questions, hopefully. If not, feel free to send a message in the message field. If you have more questions, and then we would try to get to those as well. We did have some questions submitted through the questionnaire as well prior to this call, so we'll be answering all of those as well. But yeah, I guess we can start with this call. So what are we going to be talking about today? We'll do a little introduction. We'll introduce the staff team, some of the off-program staff team members. We also have some of the program team here as well. So there's going to be a lot of introductions. Then we'll talk a little more about all hands as a whole. We will talk about the goal, the reason why we are organizing this program. We'll talk about the school build, how is it going to look like, what we're going to be working for, what do we expect to happen there. We'll tell you more about the base, how the base is looking like, how many rooms we have, what to expect from that perspective, about the local area as well, how is traveling to the base going to looking like. We'll talk more about the work on the construction side, what tasks we will be expecting, throughout the program. We'll show you kind of a few beautiful pictures, and walk you through the whole process of the construction build. Then we'll mention a few volunteer opportunities that we have available usually on every program. And we also move to the questions at the end. Like I said, some of them were already submitted prior to this call, but if you do have more questions coming up, feel free to just send a message, and Tara, my colleague, will read them at the end as well. Let's start with the introductions. So we do have off-program staff team who is usually supporting the program team with specific tasks. And then we, of course, have a program team that is going to be with you directly in Nepal. So from the off-program team, I'll start with myself. I'm Deni. I'm the volunteer coordination manager. We might have spoken already with some of you. My role basically is to support volunteers with the whole application process. So basically from the moment volunteers apply, they submit their applications, then they get into my hands, and I'll take care of them, take care of their applications, and walk them through the process. So if you did send any questions, if you send any emails, that came to me. So that's why we most likely have already spoken. And then I also support our volunteer relations coordinator on the ground with the coordination side of things, and ensuring that volunteers have an amazing experience with us on the program. And I pass it along to Tara.
Thank you, Deni. Hi, guys. I am Tara. So I'm the volunteer engagement manager. So I support the VRC, the volunteer relations coordinator, with all the engagement side of things. So this is mainly about volunteer fundraising and supporting that with all our engagement activities and our back of house of that donation page. And I'll be speaking a bit more about that later if you would like to get involved. I'm going to pass to Anna. I believe Vicky's not able to join today.
Yeah, that is true. Vicky is in a different commitment. My name is Anna. I am the senior project manager for our international programs, which means I support the construction teams on the ground. So whenever they have any questions about the plans, how to execute something, supporting them to stay within budget and timeline, I'm in the background, there for them and trying to find solutions, basically. I usually arrive on program early. That's why I'm here already, to take over from our project development team, try to understand, work with them through the plans that we have already, which they have taken a lot of time in preparing, which in our case, Gambia has been the one preparing those. So I'll leave it up to him to introduce himself.
Thank you, Anna. Hello, everybody. I am Gambir. I have been working with All Hands since 2015. All the programs that All Hands has been active in Nepal, I have been part of the all programs in different roles. Right now, I am currently working here as country manager and basically looking after all the responsibilities regarding the pre-project program development phase and also support when the project is on active mode, and then after once program is completed, handover is done, then after post handover, whatever the works that are required to be done with our local implementing partners, local government coordination and everything, and that are taken care by me, and I get supported by another folk who is not in this call, Rupa Maharjan, who is the partnerships manager for our Nepal program. So yeah, I'm here right now with the team to help and do the PDT, program development team, to program handover phase right now with the team. Thank you.
Amazing. Thank you, guys. So this was the off-program team who sometimes, join the program, and they travel to Nepal, and they just they're there in person. But overall, we are supporting the teams off program, and then we have the on-program team. It is usually overseen by our program director, who is not present during this call, but his name is Pradeep Bal. And then the program team can be divided to two different sides. It's the operations team and then the construction team. From the operations team, we do have our operations manager here today and also our volunteer relations coordinator. So they will quickly introduce themselves as well. And then from the construction team, we have Vala here, the project manager. So guys, would you mind giving a little intro? Thank you.
Hi guys, I'm Kieran. I'm the operations manager. I do recognise a few names on the list, which is quite nice. So welcome back. Basically, my job is to look after anything that isn't to do with site. So everything to do with kind of base logistics, food, all kind of things like that. I look after. And then in my team, I also have a finance coordinator, Ajit. So he looks after the money pretty much. And then Deepak, the community coordinator, he helps us with our kind of relations with the community and how we can do engagement.
Hello everyone, I'm Valeria, I'm the project manager. So basically my role is to support the construction team and checking that we are following the timeline and stay on the budget. And the other people of the construction team is Reka, that will be the construction site coordinator, that with Chet, that is the site supervisor, they will organize the daily task on site. And they will be the people that will stay on site the most. And all of us, we also are checking the quality of the project, of the execution. And also we have with us Bikalpa, that will be logistic coordinator. So he will take care of the material that can arrive on site on time, and that everything will be on site ready to be used. And also we have 7 skilled masons, and we will have 4 female masons that will do this training on site to be trained to be masons. And we are very also excited to host this type of training.
Hi, I'll introduce myself now. Sorry, I can't have my camera on. I'm traveling at the moment, but I'm really looking forward to meeting you all. My name is Laura. I'll be going out to Nepal on Monday, so I'll be in touch over the next few days. I'm the volunteer relations coordinator. So yeah, over the next few days, I'll be in touch with all of you coming out over the next few weeks. And yeah, I'm super excited to be out there. I'll be helping support you on the ground. On site. So looking forward to meeting you And yeah, thank you.
Amazing. Thank you, everyone. Okay, and now all hands and hearts. So as Kieran mentioned, there's quite a few of you who volunteered with us before. So you might be aware, about the story, but basically it used to be two organizations. It used to be All Hands Volunteers and Happy Hearts. Both of these organizations were established in a response to the Indian Ocean tsunami in 2004. Sorry. But eventually we merged in 2017, and we became All Hands and Hearts. Basically, All Hands Volunteers that were established by David Campbell, they used to help with a lot of recovery programs, a lot of long-term programs, and they brought the volunteers, with it. And then Petra Nemtsova from Happy Hearts, she had a lot of contacts, a lot of connections. So, which is why merging these two organizations was very good decision for us, because it gave us all what we needed. We had the volunteers and we had the experience from All Hands, how to run programs with volunteers. And then we also managed to have the donors and all the connections. We do have a little video here prepared, which I'm going to try to play, and hopefully it will work.
I was blessed to survive 2004 tsunami, but the real reason why I started Happy Hearts Fund is because I've learned that children and communities are forgotten for years after natural disasters. Children are waiting 4-6 years to have a safe school to go to. To me, that was unacceptable. I've seen the same pattern last 12 years. I knew there must be a better way.
Together, we've created a new type of disaster response organization, a smart response, where we come early and stay late.
We listen to the communities and their greatest needs and rebuild in disaster-resilient way.
We knew we could have a bigger impact together, so we joined visions to create All Hands
and Hearts.
So that was a cute little video explaining about the organization, All Hands and Hearts. Basically, the project in Nepal that we are starting and that you're going to be part of is on the side of the long-term recovery that David was mentioning during the video. The Gambia will mention it a little more in detail. He'll talk about the disaster better, but the disaster happened 9 years ago as of right now. And even, with the disaster happening 9 years ago in Nepal and other countries as well, after every disaster, there's always a huge need, even many, many years after disaster happens. So this is basically why we are having a program in countries like Nepal, even so many years after disaster hits. And right now we'll be focusing on a school build and trying to build a disaster resilient school for Nepali kids. I'll move on to the next slide. Sorry, it's a little delayed, but this slide talks about the earthquake that Gambier will tell you a little more about because he has the best experience.
Thank you, Danny. Yeah, so the time of All Hands work in Nepal, it begins from April 2015 earthquake, like the Gorkha earthquake we call it as. So the 7.8 big magnitude of earthquake we were hit by, and epicenter was in Gorkha, and that was in a Saturday. That was in a Saturday, I think 25th of April, and then after a few days after that, that massive earthquake, we were hit by another earthquake that was in May 12th, and those two earthquakes had a lot of damages created in a lot of different areas. They were mostly closer to the Kathmandu. I think the most affected areas were 14 different districts closer to the epicenter areas. And as per the records at that time, there were a lot of the like private houses, like a lot of the infrastructures got damaged, of which 16,000 schools were affected like fully and partially. And as per the government records, out of those, around 8,000 schools were severely affected, like fully destroyed, fully damaged, and they were not in a usable conditions at all. And then after the government, alongside like some local entities in the country, as well as different non-profit organizations, they started working on the reconstruction of the schools. And as of November 2024, the number of schools that has already been built are around 7,500. There are around 100 schools that are still being constructed, and still like the remaining schools are to be built. Beside this, there are other schools also that need help, which were not severely damaged. Like if there are 4 or 5 buildings in a schools, maybe 1 or 2 buildings were damaged, but they did not get enough attention from the authorities. And now that it's already around 9 years since that earthquake, nobody is looking after that. Basically, there is still a lot of reconstruction need left in the affected areas, which is what this particular slide is trying to tell. And we are responding against the same earthquake, even like 9 years, near about 10 years down the line.
Here you can see a little bit what our goal is here in the community that we're in. So we will be constructing one new disaster resilient building, which will be fully functioning by itself. And we will create within this building 3 new classrooms. But additionally to that, there is some more infrastructure missing for the school. So we will be also providing water and sanitation facilities, which means we're going to be building an additional toilet. We will be refurbishing some of the existing toilets. We'll be installing a water filtration system. So there is a lot around this topic that is also lacking in the school, that in the same goal we will also be addressing. Overall, this program will impact more than 228 students and 10 staff members. So just to give you a bit of an idea how on paper, such a small project actually has an impact on a lot of students.
Moving on, so in Nepal, over the years, we have had opportunity to work with a few other partners as well. Like before 2018, when we were working in Nuwakot and Sindhupalchok district, along with Kathmandu, we had different partners who were working together with. But ever since 2018, we have partnered with our current local partner, whose name is Relief Nepal. So we have been working with them since July 2018. And over the years, we have built multiple schools. I don't remember how much it is. I think it's around 9 or 10 schools that we have already built in different areas of Sinduli as well as in Makwanpur. And beside that, we also worked on one of the health posts during the time of pandemic. Like immediately after the pandemic time, we also managed to work in one of the health posts to help the community get like maternity block for that area. And we also had worked with them in a lot of other activities. Like for example, we not only these schools we work through them, we with them, but we also get to have their expertise used in our projects, which is basically they have like good expertise on in the field of software activities like water sanitation and hygiene trainings, child right protection trainings. There are like menstrual hygiene trainings as well, which comes under the WASH trainings, disaster risk management trainings, and things like these are all also done with help of Relief Nepal when our project is happening. And once our project is already handed over to the community, then also there are like more refresher trainings and follow-up trainings that are conducted by Relief Nepal. They also conduct monitoring and evaluation after 6 months, 1 year, 1.5 year, 2 years, to see how the school are working, how the school is performing with what we have given to them. So they've been a very crucial element in our projects in Nepal, before, during, and after the project. So yeah, Relief Nepal, you'll get to hear more about them when you are on the program. So alongside that, the one of another organization, another partner who is in contact with us, who we are talking to, is one of the organization who we worked in our last project also. That was for the arts and education program. So we are aiming to try and implement the same arts and education program, like training program in this program also. But this is yet to be confirmed. Like we are talking about, basically, this is one of the projects that has not been fully funded yet. It's a supplementary project. So we're trying to make efforts to try and have this funded as well, so that we can have this extra partner also come and be a part of the same, same project this year as well. So this is what this slide is mainly trying to refer to. What after this? So yeah, I think we can jump into another one on the slide. So it talk like about your expectation, what to expect when you come here. It basically talks about the local area. If you have come to Nepal programs, if last two programs, then the area will be familiar, because the project location is in a similar area where we had our last two programs in 2023 and like 2022 finished in 2023, and 2023 that was finished in 2024 this year. So this local area, although the district is different, but it happens to be in the border in between Sinduli and Makwanpur. So it's closer to our last project, and this the name of the local area is called as Bagmati Rural Municipality. It is in Makwanpur district, and if we talk about the overall like economic situation of this particular area, is like most of the people in this area, they rely on agriculture, and agriculture is one of their main source of like living and earning money from. And beside that, they also have other source of revenues. For example, the youths, they go out to towns like Kathmandu or India or Middle East to have to just earn money and serve their families. And that's another one of the important way of earning money, a way of having their family run beside the agriculture. So otherwise, like after that, agriculture farming is the major contributor to their economy. And that's how the situation with most of the people in the region. And talking about the weather right now, I mean, you can see like I'm wearing jackets. It's cold. It's getting cold, and so like it'll keep getting more cold until February, and then after after February, mid-February, it will start getting warmer every day. And by the time when it will be April, it'll be like really hot, hot for us at least. So. Yeah, that's how it's going to be. And during the time of winter, it's like it's foggy in the morning, you don't see sun. You'll see sun during the daytime. In the nights it's really cold. So that's how the weather is like. But right now it's kind of really nice weather, and the weather will be really nice in February as well. So from March, mid-March or late March, that's when we'll start having a lot hot weathers, especially in the daytime. And talking about the languages, so like, all the people speak Nepali here. Then after, there are some local languages that different people living here speaks, like Magar, Tamang, Chepang, Newari. Those are other local languages that people speak here. But Nepali is major one. You can find some people speak English, but in English you will not find that often people speaking in English. So yeah, that's how the situation is going to be like in region. In our program, we do have like our community coordinators who are supporting with any sort of translations required, and other staffs also, Nepali staff, they can do as well. But people, you don't expect them to speak English that often here in here in this area. Not in Kathmandu, you can see almost everyone is speaking English though. And local transport, like the main local means of transportation is the public bus and jeeps. You see, they will see, you will see a lot of the transportation means that is being used in this area. Bus to Kathmandu, and from Kathmandu. Similarly, jeep to Kathmandu and from Kathmandu. There are a couple of other areas where those buses go to. But we when we consider about transportation from Kathmandu to the base, then it's mainly jeeps and buses. And beside that, if you are talking about very local only, then there are some tuk-tuks. I don't know how what you call that in English, but the local regional name is like a small tuk-tuk. And that can take you through the local areas as well. Not, they cannot take you too far, maybe up to Hetauda or something like that. We'll talk about that in the following section, I think. So yeah, and this is the local area that we're talking about. So this area is around 120 kilometers southeast of Kathmandu. That's the shortest route, shortest highway route. There are some non-highway routes also, but that does not, like in that route, the public buses, public cars do not go to. That's why the shortest highway route is 120 kilometers. But there are multiple options to come, at least one more options to come here. And that will be around over 200 kilometers if you come from Sinduli on the direction. So in this particular municipality, people also call it as Gaon Palika. That's a Nepali word, rural municipality. Municipality is Nagar Palika, and rural municipality is Gaon Palika. And there are 9 wards here, population around 38,000, I'm sorry. And then after the headquarter of this municipality lies in ward number 2, which is not too far away from where we live, where we have our base. Our base and school are both in ward number 8, and the headquarters of this rural municipality is ward number 2. Now talking about the nearest city that has a lot of amenities in it, it's Hetauda, which is around an hour, slightly less than 1 hour, drive distance away, in 38 kilometers away from here, the main town. That's where that is also the headquarter of this province. So Nepal, and under Nepal we have Bagmati province, Makwanpur district, Bagmati Rural Municipality as the lowest government unit. And this is the headquarter of this, Hetauda is headquarter of this province. That is going to be less than 1 hour, you can say, from here. And that will have lots of hotels, shopping malls. Yeah, at least 2 shopping malls are there, 3 shopping malls. And there are a lot of banks, ATMs you can find, like pizzas, whatever that you want to get. No, you can find, it has a lot of amenities basically, so you can go there. But there is one another town which is only about I think 7 or 8 kilometers from here, which is driving distance is like around 8 to 10 minutes, let's say, from here. So that also has, like, you can see the photo there, like there are a couple of banks over there, few clinics and pharmacies are there. And you can still get clothes, like if you want to buy beddings, clothes, you can buy those also. There are small little restaurants also over there. So this is a nice little town where you can get a lot of your things. But when it comes about like nice fancy sort of hotels and those sort of things, then you don't get that often. And also when you have this when you want to go to ATMs to withdraw the money, then maybe you would want to withdraw the cash in Kathmandu or in Hetauda, because the ATMs here might not be that reliable. There's one point that we have not put it here about the SIM cards. I think maybe it's the right time to say. So like when we were doing assessments, we were having both the networks. Like there are 2 major what you call cell phone companies, SIM providing companies. One is government and one is like private. Both worked well at that time, but since last like few days, when we are here in the base, we have found that in base Ncell doesn't work that well. NTC, that's another that works well. So but in volunteer info hub, maybe that information is not put that way. We've set both the networks work, you can bring both of them. But it looks like when you're getting out of the airport during arrivals, if you purchase NTC SIM card, the easiest place is to get the NTC SIM card is at airport. You can get from others also, but it's a little bit more complicated to get. Ncell SIM can be found anywhere, anytime, quite easily. But NTC SIM is a little difficult. That's a government one. So it's better to buy. We recommend like everyone to try and buy that SIM at the airport when you are coming out, during the arrivals. So that's not here, but we will update that in our volunteer info hub, hopefully at some point. So yeah, and this is it. I think that's it about the local areas. Uh, yeah, that's it. Now
Thank
we
you,
have.
Gambir. I would just add here, if I may. Firstly, the network provider will be updated in the information hub within the next day or so. And secondly, Gambir was talking about the distance from Kathmandu to the base area, or from Hetauda to the base. I just want to highlight that when you see the mileage or the kilometers, don't think about it in the Western terms, because that's not how it works in Nepal. 120 kilometers, in my country could be, I don't know, an hour and a half, something like this, if you are driving on a highway. In Nepal terms, it could be 5 to 6 hours, okay? So it's very important when you are traveling from Kathmandu to leave early in the morning. This is because, like I just said, the roads are, even though they're called highways, they're not the highways that we are used to. So it takes much longer to get somewhere. Also, something could happen on the way or something like this. We never know. So just give yourself enough time for the travel, and try to leave in the morning, just so you would avoid traveling in the dark, because that is certainly not recommended.
All right, so I'm here to talk about what will be your home whilst you're with us. So our base is located about 15 minutes walking distance from the construction site. It depends how fast you walk. I'm pretty slow, so it takes me a bit longer, but we'll get there. So the picture in the bottom right is our lovely house. It's actually quite a new house, and it's all painted very nicely. In it, there is 7 rooms, and there's bunk beds in each room. And we also have some space for camping. The masons have been busy making a lot of space outside. So there will be some space for camping out there. And also outside, there'll be 2 dry toilets. So that's ones with sawdust. And there'll be an outside urinal for the guys. I think we have 3 bucket showers too. I think we have 3 bucket showers that are getting constructed today, which is pretty cool. There's an outside kitchen. There'll also be an outside dining and common area. So we've turned one of the 2 garages down at the bottom. That'll be the office. So if you need a staff member, then that is where you're likely to find one of us. And also we'll have a little wellness area where we can practice some yoga and generally feel quite zen. And yeah, what else have we got? Oh yeah, we've got a first aid and isolation room. So yeah, hopefully you don't get sick, and hopefully you're not sneezing like Tara is right now, and you can you can isolate in there so we don't all get sick at the same time. And then also we're getting a volleyball court, or we're going to make a volleyball court, have a fire pit. So all those nice evenings where we want to hang out together, we can have some volleyball tournaments.
Absolutely. So bring a guitar, bring some games, just to make the evenings interesting and cozy by the fire pit.
All right. Oh, this is me as well. So this is what it looks like, a day in the life of kind of what it'll be like here. 6 a.m. 6 a.m. will come, quiet hours will end, the lights will go on, you'll open your eyes, you'll go make some coffee, and hopefully have some breakfast. 6:45, leave for site. 15 minutes, you'll get there, you'll get to site. Valley and her team will do a nice little site orientation for you guys. They'll tell you what you're going to do for the day. You might be concreting, you might be rebarring, you could be painting, you could be plastering, you could be digging, whatever kind of needed to get the school up and running. Just before midday, you walk back to base, get your step count even higher, have some dal bat for lunch that's cooked by our lovely cooks, and then you'll go straight back to site after that. Come 4 o'clock, that'll be around the end of the day. You guys will get back to site. You can enjoy the nice bucket showers, whilst all the staff have their little catch-up, little meeting, and then we'll have a volunteer meeting after that. So that's where you guys can tell all the staff, especially me who won't be on site, you can tell me how your day's going, what the school's looking like. After that, we'll have some dinner. Yeah, again, cooked by our amazing cooks, so we can all eat together, or you can eat alone if you really want to. But it's nice to eat together. And then curfew will come at 7:30. So if you're out and about, you'll be back on base by then. It's pretty dark by then anyway. And we can do some little, I'm sure Laura will arrange some evening activities for us. We might have some auctions. We might have some, what am I trying to say? Volleyball. We might have some quizzes. You don't know. And then comes to 9 o'clock. lights go out, quiet hours go on. We can sit by the fire, being quiet. But yeah, that'll be us getting quiet, getting ready for the next day, so we can all go to sleep and do the same again the next day.
All right. Okay, I'll explain you a little bit about what the work on site is going to look like. Some of you might have been on a program in Nepal, a program in one of the different countries that we are working in. But this one is quite special. You see in these pictures a little bit the progress of the school build that we built last year, which will be very, very similar to what we are building this year. So in the first probably 2 months, we will be mostly underground, which means we'll have an excavator come in next week to already dig the foundations. And then we will start defining that a little bit more, making sure that it actually has the right size, making sure it has enough space for all the underground works. And we're going to start installing rebar. We're gonna start installing the foundation walls. So you'll step by step see the building come out of the ground until we pour the plinth beam, which is the beam that is just above ground. And that's when it gets really exciting, because all the months before you're like, woof, I'm in this hole, we're still digging, we're still underground, I can't see any progress. But as soon as we reach that level, that's when you really see what this is going to be. And that goes fast. Like you will see that once we start coming up with the brickwork from ground level, this is going to look like a building really, really quickly. What is very specific about this program is that above ground, our main structure is a concrete frame structure, but anything that is infill between our columns are our compressed earth bricks, which, well, the team and especially Vali will explain you lots about when you're here, but it's one of the initiatives that All Hands is taking in order to build more sustainable and reduce the amount of cement and concrete that we generally have in our buildings, since that is a huge, huge contributor to the CO2 emissions in the world. Like when you Google it, it's crazy how much of that is actually caused by cement and generally the building industry. So that is going to be a really cool system. You see it in the bricks that are in the lower pictures. They look a little bit like big Legos, and that's really what they are. Like they have these little holes that stand out of the bricks, which are interlocking. So if you've ever seen a red brick system, or if you have seen a concrete block system, you have always a block or a brick, and then you have the next one staggered to increase the integrity of the building. And the same we have here as well, just that they have those little interlocking pieces, which is actually quite cool. Those are then filled with like a cement slurry, which is, you can picture it a little bit like the consistency maybe of like an icing when you put it on the cake. And yeah, this way we ensure that these interlocking bricks are connected all the way through. And then if you want to move to the next slide. Okay, at some point we will reach the top of the walls. We will pour a big beam all around the building. And on top of that, we will be installing our roof. In Nepal, traditionally, the roof structure is made from metal. So what you see at the top right picture is like the prefabricated trusses being already up on the roof. And then they connect perpendicular to that metal purlins, which go all across and build the surface to install the metal sheets of the roof, which you can see at the bottom left picture. And basically, once you reach that level, anything that is missing is finishing work. So painting, plastering, installation of doors and windows, and we'll reach the final picture at the very end on the right bottom. That is how the school last year looked like. And at that point, you don't even see anymore that that the building is made from bricks, because yeah, it's all covered nicely in paint. All right, this actually, it's quite cool because you can see on the right, one of the buildings previous to the CSEB, so the compressed earthwork construction. And I think it's quite impressive to see how similar these buildings look like, even though the type of structure is completely different. Because on the left one, you can see all those blue columns that are there. This is the structure of the building, and that's where the load is carried. While on the right side, the whole walls are load bearing, which means they are taking some of the weight of the building as well. So it's a very, very different type of structure, but in the end, it looks very similar.
Amazing. Thank you, Anna. And don't worry, once you get to the program, you'll hear a lot more talks from Vala and the construction team about, you know, how we build things, why we build it that way, more about bricks and more about concrete and all of these fun things. So stay tuned and get excited about it. And now we'll tell you a little bit more about some additional volunteer opportunities that we usually have on every program. One of them is a base manager. So you're probably asking, what is base manager and who is base manager? So base manager is a volunteer role that is supporting the operations team. The operations team that we mentioned at the beginning, that is part of the operations team is Kiran, operations manager, volunteer relations coordinator, and this group of lovely people. They're part of the operations team. So base manager would be there to support this team with additional tasks that they would need support with. So that could be things like helping with inventories or helping with different shopping or food orders. Base manager could also be supporting our volunteer relations coordinator, Laura, with some tasks around volunteer onboarding, helping with base tour when we have a large group of volunteers coming in. They could be helping showing people around and making sure that everyone has everything they need. It's also a great opportunity how to learn more about the operations team as a whole, how we do things, why we do things, and it's a perfect first step for anyone who would be interested in becoming a volunteer relations coordinator on future programs. So this role is usually available on every program. I can of course not guarantee that it will be available at the time you join us. But yeah, if this is something that would interest you, feel free to talk to Kieran when you get to the program, and he'll be able to tell you a little more about the base manager role.
All right, before I get to the next two slides, I just said to Kieran that when I was on my first program, Danny was actually the base manager, and I was like, wow, this is so cool. I want to be a base manager. And then she left, and I was like, no, I think you maybe even got a job. Yeah, you got a job. So I was like, oof, I'm going to be the base manager. I'm going to be as cool as Danny. Just saying.
That's actually true. I remember that as well. I was the base manager and then I became the volunteer relations coordinator. So exactly like I said, it's the perfect first step for anyone who wants to become the VRC. So if that's what you're thinking about, I recommend becoming a base manager.
Okay, the two roles that I will be talking about are related to construction. Both of these roles are quite different, but we need all of those roles for our programs to function. So the first one is a team leader. So on a site, well, if you've been on a program, this will be very familiar to you, but it's impossible for the staff team to be everywhere at the same time. If every single volunteer that doesn't have a task anymore or that has a question comes straight to the site supervisor or the construction site coordinator, they will be talking all day long, just trying to solve small questions, while they actually also have to start and plan for the next tasks and so on. That's why team leaders are super, super important for us to delegate some of the tasks. So if you are, for example, interested in a specific task and you're staying on program for longer, and you're here for, let's say you're here for the first week and all you've been doing is rebar tying, and you're like, wow, this is actually, I feel like I'm getting really good at this. And I'm getting familiar. I understand the tips and tricks. Like I'm in a groove. And you're like, well, I think if there are new volunteers coming, it would be really easy for me to just teach them a little bit and take on this little bit of extra responsibility. That is something that is super, super helpful for us. So if you happen to be on program for a bit longer and you are interested in a specific task, you have a bit of leading skills, then like talk to one of the construction team members, and they will see if we need team leaders at the moment and in which area we need them. This is a really good opportunity to get more insight into a specific task and to just feel a little bit what it means to lead a team. And then the next role is the role of a site manager. And that role is quite different to what a team leader does. A site manager really supports the construction team in the background. So they are not assigned to a specific task. They help that the construction site keeps running. So they would help with maybe organizing the tool shed, checking if we have enough PPE, checking that the first aid kit is restocked, looking out for things to improve on site. And they would help the construction team also with some of the documentation that needs to be done. And therefore this is a really good role to get more insight on what's actually happening behind the scenes, because you are not actively working on a task on site, but you are supporting more in the background. But in this way, you learn a lot about how all hands construction teams work. And you get to try some of these things yourself. If you are super hands-on and you really want to be on the construction site and dig trenches, then that is for sure not the role for you. But if you are really good at organizing, you like maybe sometimes to escape a little bit the chaos from site, and you have a talent of seeing things that could be improved, that is a really good way to engage in our construction sites.
Awesome. So we're passing it to me now. Yes, as I said, I'm Tara. I am the volunteer engagement manager. Just to talk a bit about how you can get involved. So we're obviously immensely grateful that you're dedicating your time to coming to program. And everything we get done is because of people like you. Like, you guys are the backbone of our community. But none of this would be possible if we didn't have funding and outreach. So this is why we need your support with fundraising. You will see this lovely fundraising iceberg everywhere you go. I love the visual, but it's just a really good way of explaining why we ask for donations and for you to get involved with fundraising for us. Firstly, you help fund us with the work. So this is crucial because no work can ever be accomplished without donations. But that is just the tip of the iceberg. So secondly, you become an advocate for the survivors of natural disasters and all hands and hearts. So people that have experienced the earthquake in Nepal. This is the most authentic type of advocacy because it sends the signal to your network that you truly care about us and what you do, and that you trust our organisation. Additionally, the moment you text your friend or family member, community, the moment you post on social media or publish a video on YouTube, you make tens, hundreds, even thousands of people aware of the support that communities affected by natural disasters still need, even years after the disaster. And I think that's something that recovery programs can sometimes lose. It's the people don't realize the long-term effects of these disasters. So you're raising awareness about that impact, and simultaneously inspiring others to take an action, to donate, to volunteer, to share their story. To put this in perspective, since 2015, when we started fundraising on our programs, we've raised more than $4 million. So it's a huge impact and just shows you the fundraising and advocacy you can have. And lastly, fundraising is a form of giving back. So by reaching out to your friends and family and asking for donations of $1, $10, $100, you're giving back to society and helping to reduce those inequalities. But also at the same time, you're giving back to us. All Hands and Hearts, we provide free volunteering opportunities. We want to empower people, and that's why we never charge anyone for volunteering with us. But at the same time, it does still cost us a large to feed and take care of everybody. So we believe in power of volunteers, and we're grateful to have you with us. But as a way of showing gratitude for this possibility through raising funds and helping us to continue to make this all happen, it'd be great if you are able to fundraise with us. And then you can go to the next slide. Awesome. So how you can fundraise for us? So you can set up your fundraising page. So when we start making contact, Laura can start reaching out to you soon. She will send you a link to our fundraising campaign. And this, you can make an individual fundraising page on there. And this is what you can use to send to your friends and your families to show, explain what you're getting up to, the exciting adventure you're about to embark on. And you can ask for support for your keep and for the program. Post a lot about us on social media. Remember to tag us, please, because then we like to show them all on our own All Hands Instagram, things like that. But it's really cool to show pictures and videos of your progress and of the progress of the school and the impact of the earthquake still. Utilize group chats, clubs, communities. So use your networks. You never know who comes out of the woodworks as soon as you start posting about the experiences you're going on. Like I remember when I first started my fundraising journey in Turkey, I had people from primary school reaching out to me, and I haven't spoken to these people in years. So it's a really good way of uniting everyone together. Get creative. So whether that's you want to do a give up month, birthday fundraisers, shave your hair off. I know Kieran recently did that. But take part in fundraising events as well. So Laura will be hosting some fundraising events on program, which is super fun. But you also please do feel free to organise ones yourself and just really utilise the people all on base with you. And there will be a volunteer info hub and there's more information about fundraising on there too. And the next slide. So cool. We do have this thing called the Alumni Network. So this is the equivalent of All Hands and Hearts social media. It's a really good tool to connect with volunteers that are incoming at the same time as you. So you can kind of liaise with them, see maybe if people are arriving at the same sort of time, but also you can kind of to ask any questions, chat with previous volunteers on Nepal or other programs. And it's a good way when you're on program as well to share your volunteer experience. So previous volunteers on the Nepal program can see like what this program's all about, and it's really cool. And then after the program, it's a good way of staying connected with friends, staying updated on what's happening, where the program's at. But also what's really cool about this platform is that we provide a lot of professional development resources. So there's currently a mentoring program scheme about to be launched. There's a lot of humanitarian training recommendations. There's a really good way of just to reach out to people within the humanitarian field and to develop yourself professionally, or whether it's just something you're personally interested in. So yeah, that's the Alumni Network. I'm going to pass over to the next person. Thank you.
Thank you, Tara. And now we moved to your questions. So yeah, let me go through that. So first one, hello, I know those might be out of place questions. There's never a question out of place. Please be aware of that. But is there a time throughout the day for a quick smoke break? And how is it looking after work? Is there some alone time? So yes, the answer to both is yes. I think Kieran went through the schedule earlier, but we usually have an hour lunch break from noon till 1, and we also have a few little breaks throughout the day where you can you can grab a smoke, or you can get water or extra snacks or something like this. So certainly there's enough time throughout the day to have a little break for smoking or not smoking. And then in the evenings there's also some free time. So usually after work, we have an evening meeting, which is only a few minutes, where we talk about what happened that day, what's going to be happening next day. And then we have dinner. After dinner, it's just a free time for you to do, what you prefer. You can be reading, you can be socializing with others by the fire. We'll also be hosting different events in the evening, so you can join the events if you prefer. But once again, you can spend the free time as you prefer. So question number 2, requesting a lower bunk due to the age and also a snorer. I'm in Nepal already and up in Langtang trekking now. We'll see where I'm at if Wi-Fi is available for webinar. So I don't know if you are present right now. If not, we'll be sharing this recording of this call with everyone either way. So we will do the best we can to reserve a lower bunk. We have only a certain amount of bunk that's available, so you know, it's could be sometimes tricky depending on how many people we have coming in and leaving. We have a constant shuffle of volunteers basically, so we will certainly do the best we can to reserve you a lower bunk. But please, if whoever wrote this, if you're hearing this message, reach out to Laura, our VRC volunteer relations coordinator, you know, with this message. Like if you need to reserve it, let her know and she'll do the best she can to do that. A Wi-Fi question. Is there a Wi-Fi in the town nearby and ATM/currency exchange in the town nearby? Gambir, you might need to help me with this one, but I think you already mentioned that ATMs are available in Hetauda, which is about an hour and a half away from our base, plus Kathmandu. ATM is also available in the town, more or less 10 minutes away from our base, but could be unreliable. So we do certainly recommend everyone to be getting cash in Hetauda or in Kathmandu when you get the chance. But I don't know what are the Wi-Fi options in the villages nearby, Gambir.
Like there are not any like reliable Wi-Fi service providers in the region. School does have one Wi-Fi provider which school are using right now, and we will also try and have one Wi-Fi setup in our base. But because of the low bandwidths and all, so that might just be available for others to use on Saturdays, as per the last practices. There are other regions that we are yet to explore. They might have some Wi-Fi's, but the Wi-Fi's here in the local regions are not so very great.
Thank you. Yeah, we would certainly recommend getting the local SIM card, just because you can get a data plan for very reasonable prices, and you know that can be reached even in the village. So I think that's what I would personally recommend the most. Question number 4. Tent village, fire pit, how far is the school from the site? Days off, swimming pool, bathing spots. So tent village, yes, we do have 10 spots available for tents. Once again, if you do want to have a tent, let Laura know just so she can reserve you a spot. We also are going to have a fire pit for the colder evenings, so then you can all gather together and enjoy some warmth. The school is about 15-minute walk over faster walk to base and school, 15-minute faster walk apart. And then we have 1.5 day off, that is Saturday afternoon and Sundays as well. And I don't know if there are any swimming bathing spots available in the area nearby. Gambir, do you know? I mean, if they are, they're certainly not going to be enjoyable during the winter periods of time, but maybe for April. What do you think?
I think there are some small streams nearby. So Deepak and the team has been really good at finding those spots. We personally have not been able to find any of those, but just the way how the locality is like, there might be some spaces available, which we will get to know very soon as time passes on in the program.
Amazing, thank you. Now question number 5 about mattresses and insurance. We do not provide mattresses or bedding for volunteers. That is something that you would be responsible to bring. However, you can get mattresses in the village nearby. It's about 10 minutes away from the base. You can also get bedding there, pillows if you need to, those things don't necessarily need to be brought from home. Of course, if you prefer, certainly do that. Especially if you would prefer to bring like a better sleeping bag, ideal for like colder temperatures or something like this. I would recommend that. But yeah, you can also purchase things locally. We do have an insurance, and that means all our volunteers are insured with us throughout their time of volunteering. Also, if you would go on a monthly break away from base, something happens, you would also be insured during that time. And then a pickup assistance from Thamel to go to the base. We do not have like a group pickup arranged. This is just because we have people coming in and out very frequently and in various different numbers, so it'd be very difficult to organize that. However, we did share with everyone a document called Directions to Base, where is detailedly explained the best ways how to get to the base. There are GPS coordinates. There are details on exactly how to get, from Thamel to the bus station, and then what to do next. There's step-by-steps. So read through that. It is included in the invitation email that you received. But of course, if you do have any follow-up questions, you can reach out to me or to Laura as well. We'll be able to support you. And last question about local Masons and community, if they speak Nepali or other languages. Gambhir mentioned it earlier. Most of the local people do speak Nepali. They do not speak English very well. Some of our Masons do speak English, and they are trying to learn, and they do appreciate when you try to talk to them in English, teach them new words, same as they love to teach volunteers actually Nepali. So it's a very nice relationship. But people in the community, they usually don't speak English, so you should be expecting to either use translators on your phone, speak with hands, and gestures. Yeah, just like navigate the situations in more basic ways. And network coverage, yes, NTC is the network that you want, that has the best coverage on base and also very good and reasonable data plans. So that was all of your questions that you submitted. I tried to go through them very quickly just because we are over time, and I do apologize for this delay. I don't know if anyone has submitted any more questions, Tara. I apologize, I cannot see them because I'm sharing the screen. So
no, there's nothing else in the chat. But yeah, if anyone wants to say anything, please feel free to put in the chat right now, and I can read it out so Danny can see.
Okie dokes. If not, please know that you can always reach out to me as well. You'll have the Nepal email address. It's ahhnepalrelief@allhandsandhouse.org. So feel free to send me a message, question. We'll be able to support you. You can also ask Laura, who will start reaching out to all the incoming volunteers in the upcoming days.
So, Danny, we have a question from Sue, the lovely Sue. Hello. Is there electricity at base for phones?
Gambhir, do you want to have me with one? Yeah.
Yes. We have electricity in base and school, of course, and we might see power cuts at times, but we do also have generator backups during the time of need. Like sometimes having the power cuts for like a few minutes is quite normal. But for the longer time power cuts, we do have generator backups as well.
Thank you. Okay,
lovely message from Kath saying great session. Thanks, Kath. It's lovely to catch up with you.
Thank you, Kath. Okay, well, thank you everyone for joining today. Like I said, if you do have any questions, reach out to us, and I hope you have amazing experience with us in Nepal. The program team is excited to have you there and have you join them. They feel quite lonely right now. So yeah, have a good day, and yeah, hope to talk to you soon. Okay, bye.
soon.
Bye, guys.
Bye. See you
Bye-bye. See you
soon.
soon, guys.